You're listening to Part 1 of this audiobook. Enjoy the story? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Now, let's begin Part 1. Chapter 1. Departure Day. I finally waited for this day. In the early morning, Chu Chen, dressed neatly, opened the window, and his face facing the sun was a little dazed. He lives in the home region of the Pokemon world, but he is not actually a native of this world. A few years ago, Chu Chen woke up and found that he had come to this strange yet familiar world. He naturally had no relatives in this world. Fortunately, thanks to the good social welfare system of this world, he did not have to live a wandering life because his physical age became only about 10 years old after crossing and he had no identity certificate. In the past few years, he has been like an ordinary teenager in this world. In school, he accumulated knowledge to become an excellent trainer. Now, at the age of 15, Chu Chen has reached adulthood, and it is time for him to embark on his journey. Yes, unlike the original world, if a teenager in this world wants to start traveling alone, he must reach the age of 15 and be able to take care of himself. But Chu Chen is now facing a problem. The breeding of Pokemon requires a lot of manpower and material resources. Even the Alliance can only provide a good growth and education environment for a teenager with special circumstances as much as possible. And it is impossible to make every teenager like him get an Earl Dervish Pokemon on the day of departure. So, when teenagers from all over the world receive Royal 3, or start their journey with the Earl Dervish Pokemon prepared by their families, Chu Chen's situation is a little embarrassing. Note, Earl Dervish Pokemon specifically refers to the first Pokemon obtained by the trainer, not necessarily the Royal 3. The Royal 3 refers to the 3 Pokemon of each generation that everyone is familiar with. However, Chu Chen was not discouraged. As long as the mind does not slip, there are always more ways than difficulties. Perhaps because of the rules of the world, the physical fitness of people in this world is not bad. Think about it, Gym Leader Chuck, a fighting attribute in the Johto region, and Bruno, one of the 4 elites in the Kanto region, can fight Pokemon hidden. As for Ash, who carries Larvitar in his hand and Tyranitar on his shoulder, it's nothing more than a protruding lumber disc. Even Chu Chen, who came here in this world, has greatly improved his physical fitness compared to before the crossing. At worst, he can capture Pokemon with his bare hands like Jessie did. Chu Chen is confident that he can still beat Magikarp, Wurmple and the like. If it doesn't work, what else can he do? Since we are here. If it is. As if he remembered something, Chu Chen shook his head gently. Overall, he was still very happy. Which Pokemon player has not fantasized about traveling to the Pokemon world one day? The experience of being able to truly capture and cultivate your favorite Pokemon is not comparable to the game. After packing up his luggage, Chu Chen took a deep breath and walked out the door. Stepping out of this door, he will be exposed to a magnificent world that is different from the ivory tower environment of the school. Loading progress 1%, 2% 100%. Bind to the only host, Chu Chen. Ding. The God-level treasure chest system is activated. That is, at the moment when Chu Chen's hand touched the door handle, several consecutive electronic prompts sounded as if they appeared directly in his mind. The hand holding the door handle froze, and Chu Chen was sure that this was not his hallucination. Having experienced time travel, it was not difficult to accept another system. In fact, as soon as he came here, he was waiting for the appearance of it, which was the standard equipment for time travelers. God-level treasure chest system? Is this system specifically for opening treasure chests? In what form can treasure chests be obtained? Compared to some other details, Chu Chen was more concerned about these. But before he could figure out the reason, the cold electronic prompt sounded in his mind again. Ding! You have obtained newbie exclusive treasure chest X1. Along with this electronic prompt sound, a blue translucent panel appeared in front of Chu Chen. It was a panel similar to the inventory in the game. And in the first grid, a golden box emitting light was listed. Without the system's prompt again, Chu Chen spoke without a teacher. System, open the newbie exclusive treasure box. At the same time when Chu Chen issued the order, the treasure box on the blue panel enlarged and opened, and the light was bright. Ding! P.S. New book is launched. Please give me some flowers and some evaluation votes. Thank you. Enjoying Part 1 so far? This is only the beginning. Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue the story. Now, let's continue. Chapter 2. Ding. You got Luxury Ball X1. Ding. You got Exploration Eye X1. Ding. You got Poke Ball X5. The treasure box on the panel in front of him opened, and 3 new items appeared in front of Chu Chen. The 5 Poke Balls can be ignored directly, which is for new trainers to capture new Pokemon. Exploration Eye is not difficult to understand from the literal meaning, it is used to view the information on the Pokemon panel. Chu Chen's eyes fell directly on the Luxury Ball in the front. Luxury Ball contains a random Royal 3. A line of information appeared above the Luxury Ball. Random Royal 3. Just a few minutes ago Chu Chen was still thinking about how to get Earl Dervish Pokemon, but he didn't expect that this would solve the problem. And it's not just an ordinary Earl Dervish Pokemon. This is my first Pokemon. Muttering softly, Chu Chen reached out and grabbed it, his eyes filled with anticipation and excitement. Come out, little guy. Turning around, Chu Chen threw the black Luxury Ball in his hand into the house. As the black Luxury Ball opened in the air and a white light flashed, a small figure landed on the ground. The appearance of a monkey, orange hair, a hairstyle like lazy sheep, and a burning flame on the tail. This is a Chimchar. Chu Chen's eyes were filled with surprise. The strength of the Royal 3 is not much different, so it doesn't matter which one you get randomly. But if there is a choice, Chu Chen naturally hopes to get the ones he likes the most. Chimchar and Infernape are his 2 favorite fire lords. It goes without saying that Infernape, the final evolution form of Pokemon, has one of the largest fan bases among all Pokemon. Chu Chen fell in love with Chimchar because of its difficult growth process in the original book. At the Lily of the Valley conference of the Sinnoh League, Paul and Ash faced off against each other. The moment when Infernape activated Fierce Fire and burned the entire venue made Chu Chen's blood boil. Chimchar, we will be partners from now on. With a smile on his face, Chu Chen half knelt down in front of Chimchar and reached out to touch its little head. Pop. The comfort of Luxury Ball itself can promote the improvement of the favorability between trainers and Pokemon. Even if it is the first time they meet, Chimchar does not reject his intimacy. After a soft cry, the little guy even closed his eyes and rubbed his head against Chu Chen's palm. System, use Eye of Exploration on Chimchar. Looking at the well-behaved Chimchar in front of him, Chu Chen also became concerned about the specific situation of his first Pokemon. The system was very efficient, and a blue translucent panel immediately appeared above Chimchar. Name, Chimchar. Attribute, Fire. Feature, Iron Fist. Level, Level 5, Junior. Potential, Leader. Carry, none. The feature is not Fierce Fire, but the relatively rare Iron Fist that can increase the power of Fist-type skills. Chu Chen's eyes first fell on the feature column on the panel, and he nodded secretly. For Chimchar, which has strong physical attack in its subsequent 2 evolution forms, Iron Fist is undoubtedly a good feature. And in terms of the stability of performance, Iron Fist is also better than Fierce Fire, which needs to drop in status to play a role. Is it Leader Potential? As his eyes moved down to the potential column, Chu Chen's eyes were filled with joy. Leader Potential means that even if he just trains Chimchar step by step, he can get a leader-level Pokemon. What does leader-level strength mean in the Pokemon world? This represents the watershed of trainer strength. Starting from the leader level, it is truly considered to have entered the category of a powerful trainer. What's more, for Chu Chen, who has a god-level treasure chest system, even leader potential will only be temporary. When he got Chimchar, more detailed information about the system had been transmitted to his mind by the system. Treasure chests of various levels, and various rare items. Among them are props that can help Pokemon break through their potential. The way to get the treasure chest is to defeat the Pokemon in the battle. Chu Chen smirked and lifted Chimchar up and put him on his shoulder, then strode out the door. Let's go. Let's go get the treasure chest now. Chapter 3 Ha! I found you! Chu Chen's voice rang out in the woods. He lives in the suburbs of Little Root Town. There are large tracts of woods outside here, and there is no shortage of wild Pokemon in such places. He just took Chimchar into the woods and caught the Wurmple in front of him in a moment. LV3 level, just at the level of Chimchar can easily deal with it. Chimchar, use Grab Attack. Pointing at Wurmple who was still a little confused on the tree trunk, Chu Chen gave Chimchar the first command. Pop! With a soft cry, Chimchar jumped out and quickly approached the big tree in front. Wormhole on the tree trunk realized the crisis and squirmed to run away. However, Chimchar was much faster than it, and the claws emitting a faint white light fell directly on it. With a snap, Wormhole fell to the ground and lost his combat ability with just one hit. Ding! Chimchar gained 16 experience. Hearing the electronic prompt sound in his mind, Chu Chen, who was looking for the dropped treasure chest, was stunned. It turns out that this system also comes with an experience acquisition function. Chu Chen, who didn't know this before, now feels like he was hit by a lottery ticket, and his excitement rushed to his head. Does the system have this function? It's so big. Compared with the conventional breeding method, isn't this like riding a rocket? Just this one function can beat all the disobedient ones. For this reason, Chu Chen didn't even care about the failure of not successfully exploding the treasure chest once. Swish, swish, swish. Swish it. Chu Chen waved his hand and announced the beginning of the disaster day for the Pokémon living in this forest. Ding! Chimchar gained 13 experience. Ding! Chimchar gained 18 experience. Ding! Chimchar level +1. Reached LV6. Ding! Chimchar gained 17 experience. Ding! Chimchar level +1. Reached LV7. Ding! Chimchar mastered Ember. With the new skills, Chu Chen swept the forest with Chimchar faster. But after knocking down a group of Wormhole, he still didn't even see the shadow of a treasure chest. I gained quite a bit of experience points. Is this a system for picking up experience points or a system for god-level treasure chests? Did I open it the wrong way? Looking at the Chimchar who had joined the battle again, Chu Chen fell into deep thought. But just when another Wormhole fell down in hatred, a dazzling golden light suddenly lit up in front of him. Ah! My titanium dog eyes! Chu Chen covered his eyes that were no longer needed, but his eyes were filled with joy. Ding! You got Saffron Treasure Chest X1. The place where the glittering golden light came from was a box with a similar appearance to the newbie exclusive treasure chest that Chu Chen had obtained before. Finally, a treasure chest exploded. And, it was a saffron level treasure chest. It turned out that it hadn't appeared before, so it was holding back its ultimate move here. System, start now. Chu Chen said in his mind almost immediately. Ding! You got Rare Candy X1. Ding! You got Silver Crown X1. Ding! You got Alliance Coin X10,000. Rare Candy and Silver Crown. Rare Candy is not to be mentioned. No matter what the current level of the Pokémon is, it can be fixedly upgraded by 1 after taking it. This is an item with higher cost performance as the level increases. Low-level upgrades require less experience, and it won't be too obvious. But what if it's LV99 to LV100? This must be kept. It can be very useful at critical moments. Putting Rare Candy into the system backpack, Chu Chen rubbed his hands and looked at another item next to him. What did he say before? Chimchar's potential will not stop at leader. Isn't the Silver Crown that can make Pokémon break through the potential value here? System, use Silver Crown on Chimchar. Chu Chen said. Ding! According to Chimchar's current potential value, the success rate of using Silver Crown to break through is 40%. Do you want to continue? Continue. Chu Chen currently has only one Pokémon, so the answer is of course yes. Ding! Chimchar's potential value has been successfully broken through. Promoted to Quasi-Elite. Chapter 4. After the saffron treasure box exploded, Chu Chen's treasure box explosion rate finally returned to normal. Although there were no more saffron treasure boxes, there were quite a few bronze treasure boxes. Opening the bronze treasure box usually gives you Super Potion, Ultra Ball, which are not precious but practical items. The Alliance coins that will be opened in each treasure box also provide a source of income for Chu Chen. If his goal is not to become a top Pokémon trainer, he may be able to become the richest man in the world with this system. Ding! Chimchar gets 21 experience points. Ding! Chimchar gets 26 experience points. Ding! You get Bronze Treasure Box X1. Ding! Chimchar gets 32 experience points. Level +1. Reach LV9. Ding! Chimchar has mastered Taunt. Ding! You get Bronze Treasure Box X1. The sweep of the forest is still going on, and Chu Chen is waiting for a golden shiny. In a trance, he even found a bit of the feeling of playing a certain game before he crossed over and brushing the abyss over and over again. Is it for the precious items in the saffron treasure box? No. He is for that golden light. The spiritual pleasure brought to people at the moment of the appearance of the golden light is addictive. After defeating several worm pleas, Chu Chen did not wait for the golden light, but welcomed a silver white light first. Ding! You got silver treasure box X1. Chu Chen has a lot of the most common bronze treasure box. He also got the higher level saffron treasure box with great luck. This is the first time he got the silver treasure box in the middle. System, open it directly. Chu Chen spoke straightforwardly. Ding! You got Fire Punch Skill Learning Machine X1. Ding! You got Alliance Coin X3000. Skill Machine. Is the silver level treasure box a skill learning machine? Chu Chen was somewhat surprised. In this real world, there is no such thing as a skill learning machine. The source of Pokemon's skills, except for those that are learned by themselves after leveling up, are all acquired through continuous learning. This is also one of the training tasks of trainers. From this perspective, a skill learning machine that allows Pokemon to quickly master skills is extremely precious. Chu Chen did not expect that the skill learning machine was only placed in a silver level, not a higher level treasure chest. But after thinking about it carefully, he was soon relieved. No matter how precious the skill learning machine is, can it be more precious than the silver crown? Come! Chimchar, this is for you. Shaking his head and smiling, Chu Chen took the skill learning machine out of the system backpack and handed it to Chimchar. The skill learning machine is disposable. But Chu Chen did not intend to use it carefully and meticulously. Ordinary people might regard something as a treasure, but for him who has a god-level treasure chest system, it's just a little better than the common goods. I don't feel bad if I can't use it after learning it. What's more, Fire Punch itself is extremely suitable for Chimchar, who has the Iron Fist characteristic. Pop! Chimchar trusted Chu Chen very much. Even though he couldn't understand Chu Chen's meaning, he still blinked his curious eyes and took the skill learning machine directly. And at the moment when Chimchar held the skill learning machine firmly, the skill learning machine turned into two balls of flames, covering Chimchar's two small fists. The method of mastering Fire Punch was also imprinted into the little guy's mind. Pop! With his eyes wide open, Chimchar obviously realized what was going on, and his eyes were full of joy. The flames on his two small fists gradually stabilized, and it was obvious that he was mastered by the little guy. Chu Chen was about to say a few words of praise, but a slight rustling sound came from his ear together with Chimchar. Chu Chen looked towards the bushes on one side of the woods. The woods became quiet, with only the sounds of unknown Pokemon in the bushes. A few seconds later, a furry head emerged from the bushes. It looked like a bear or a dog, with brown and white hair, and its eyes looked like it was wearing a pair of dark goggles. This is a Zigzagoon. Subconsciously, Chu Chen and Chimchar looked at each other. They had never encountered a Pokemon other than Wurmple in this forest. The smile gradually became perverted. JPG. Chimchar, Ember block the road, then use Fire Punch. With a wave of his hand, Chu Chen gave the order to attack. Pop! Chimchar clenched his fist and responded with full energy. This little guy is also a warmonger. Only Chu Chen can see the treasure chests that the system explodes, but it screams every time and is more excited than Chu Chen. But Zigzagoon is not in such a good mood now. Chapter 5. If there is a chance to start over again, Zigzagoon feels that he will definitely check the almanac before going out. When Chimchar and Chu Chen looked at each other, it instinctively felt that something was wrong. Duogu! With a soft cry, Zigzagoon, who is well versed in the essence of military tactics and the best strategy of running away, chose to turn around and run without hesitation. But it was too late. Pop! Chimchar, who was running fast behind, touched the ground with his toes and jumped up. In its mouth, sparks were brewing, and as it spitted, a piece of ember rain was formed, covering the direction of Zigzagoon's escape. A small piece of shrubs was ignited and connected into a line of fire, forcing Zigzagoon to stop. In just a moment's pause, Chimchar had already come behind it. Pop! Chimchar clenched his fist, and flames gathered on his fist, using the Fire Punch he had just mastered. With the blessing of the Iron Fist feature, Fire Punch is Chimchar's most powerful skill at present. The fist was raised high, burning the air, and then it fell heavily, directly hammering Zigzagoon to the ground. The flames wrapped around the fist were surging, and at the same time, they were also causing damage to Zigzagoon and taking away its physical strength. Duogu. Zigzagoon barely raised his head, and his dark round eyes were full of resentment. But he didn't resent for too long, because Chimchar's second punch came down. Bang! It was so miserable. After taking these two punches, this Zigzagoon also lost its ability to fight as expected. The next second after Zigzagoon turned into a circle of eyes, golden light shone. It flashed. In front of the ground where Zigzagoon lay, there stood a golden box. Ding! You got Saffron Treasure Box X1. Ding! Chimchar got 56 experience. Level +1. Reached LV11. Listening to the electronic prompt sound in his mind, Chu Chen smiled happily. This is the second Saffron Treasure Box he has exploded. What will be opened in it? Chu Chen murmured softly, and continued, System, open. Ding! You got Silver Crown X2. Ding! You got Alliance Coin X 10,000. 2 Silver Crowns Attons. Listening to the electronic prompt sound in his mind, Chu Chen was slightly stunned, and then laughed again. The Silver Crown cannot guarantee a 100% success rate for potential breakthroughs. It's okay to have one more as insurance. Chimchar's potential value cannot be achieved without elite. According to the 40% success rate for a single time, the total success rate for 2 times is as high as 64%. System, use Silver Crown on Chimchar. With a slight smile, Chu Chen said in his mind. Ding! According to Chimchar's current potential value, the success rate of using Silver Crown to break through is 30%. Do you want to continue? Wait. How did it become 30%? Chu Chen's smile froze. According to the current potential value. Is this the rhythm that the success rate decreases by 10% for every large level of potential value? It seems that for a high-level potential breakthrough, you still need a golden crown that is 1 level higher than Silver Crown. Chu Chen was thoughtful. According to common sense, the success rate of Golden Crown in breaking through potential is estimated to be 100%. However, there is no Golden Crown on hand now, so Silver Crown should be used. Even if the success rate is 30% for a single time, there is still a total success rate of 51% for 2 times. When breaking through the quasi-king level potential before, the success rate was only 40%, but it was still successful. Chu Chen's face regained a smile. Continue. Ding! Chimchar failed to break through potential. Chu Chen. The smile gradually disappeared. JPG. From the perspective of probability, it failed once. Go to hell with probability. Believe in metaphysics and gain eternal life. Possession by the European Emperor. System, use Silver Crown on Chimchar. Ding! Chimchar's potential successfully broke through. Promoted to Elite. Elite. Well, comfortable. Chapter 6. Pokemon Levels and Strengths. Youngster, LV19, Primary, LV1019. Intermediate, LV2029, Advanced, LV3039. Superior, LV4049, Leader, LV5059. Quasi-Elite, LV6069, Elite, LV7079. Champion, LV8089, Master, LV9099. Third level God LV100. LV100 plus is the second level God, level 1 God. Level 3 God is listed as LV100, which only represents its higher life level. And it belongs to the category of LV90 LV100 together with the Headmaster, because the Headmaster can compete with the level 3 God in actual combat. Chest level. King Tong Silver Saffron Platinum Diamond Epic. As for the update, I don't know whether to set a rule for additional updates. However, the plan is to put it on the shelves on the 2nd of next month, and the average daily update is more than 10,000 or 12,000. Well, it should not be a small amount. So, there will be no additional update rules. If I make a guarantee of 4 updates, the flowers and evaluation votes you cast for additional updates are not enough for my original plan. That would be very embarrassing. As for the issue of the explosion of updates after the release, there will definitely be a guarantee of 10 updates. The specific number of explosions the author will save the manuscript from now on, and will release as many as he has on the day of the release. The author is not good at writing, so don't expect too much. Finally, I shamelessly ask for flowers. Ask for evaluation votes. Ask for monthly votes. Well, generally speaking, monthly votes don't have much practical effect, but if you vote, the author will directly receive a text message in the background. The author will be very happy when he sees it. The favorite thing of a salted fish author is to click on the text messages one by one. So, friends who have multiple monthly votes vote one by one. The author will receive many text messages in the background and gain many times the happiness. Chapter 7. Time passed, and the sun was high. Chu Chen still wandered in the woods with Chimchar. However, it became difficult to find opponents. After all, the forest they were sweeping was not big. Besides, no matter how many wormfleas there were, they couldn't withstand a sweep like theirs. Anyway, it is unknown whether the remaining wormfleas heard the news and ran away in advance, or whether all the wormfleas were killed by the two of them. In this forest, they spent half a day trying but still couldn't find the next unlucky guy. Damn! Just a little bit of experience. Chu Chen turned his head and looked at Chimchar beside him, and decided to try harder. It seems that the wormfleas defeated before are generally not too high in level. As if he remembered something, Chu Chen was thoughtful. Moreover, I didn't see any Wurmple's evolution type Silcone and Cascone. Chu Chen estimated that he happened to encounter the breeding season of Dustix and Beautifully, so he encountered such a large number of novice monsters. Sow'll there be Dustix and Beautifully staying nearby? With his eyes lit up, Chu Chen called Chimchar and ran deeper into the forest. Although insect Pokemon like this usually leave directly after laying eggs. But during the breeding period that may last for several months, these breeding groups also have batches. Chu Chen's guess was right. After half an hour of exploration, he was about to give up and leave, but he finally found a small group of Dustix. Great! The experience that any one of these Dustix can provide is not comparable to the previous Wurmple and Zigzagoon. Half hidden behind the tree, Chu Chen excitedly punched his palm. The problem now is how to find the lone one. Chu Chen's eyes wandered over one Dustix after another. The level of these Dustix is generally LV10 LV20. Although Chu Chen really wants to catch them all, his strength does not allow it. If you are accidentally entangled by them, they will use a set of poison powder plus paralysis powder. Tisk tisk. It was so sour, I couldn't believe it. While thinking about countermeasures, Chu Chen saw that the originally clustered Dustix group dispersed a little, and then each of them danced gracefully. Their courtship ceremony began. During the dance, pairs of Dustix successfully paired up and flew to one side, until there was only one Dustix left in the middle. There were an odd number of Dustix in this small group, and this Dustix couldn't find a partner. Looking at it alone in the air, Chu Chen felt distressed. Out of humanitarian spirit, he decided to help it. As long as it is knocked unconscious, it won't have to endure such pain and humiliation. Amen. Chu Chen had been thinking about finding the lone ones from the beginning. Aren't single dogs also alone? Single dog, it's so hard for me. With Chimchar, Chu Chen kept approaching the Dustix from the side. And the Dustix seemed to have finally accepted this sad fact, and silently turned around and flew farther away from the main group. It happened to be flying to the location of Chu Chen and Chimchar. Now! Chimchar, fire punch! When he was only a few meters away from the Dustix, Chu Chen decisively issued an order. Pop! Chimchar, who was exposed to the danger, had been ready for a long time, and jumped out with a slight cry. Its fist with scorching flames just hit the unprepared Dustix's face. Fire skills are very effective for Dustix with insect and poison attributes. With just one strike, the Dustix staggered like a drunk. Before Chimchar's second strike arrived, the Dustix suddenly froze. Then a ball of fire emerged from its body and wrapped its entire body. Chimchar's fire punch just triggered the burn effect. With this burn, the Dustix's state directly reached the limit, and it fell from the air to the ground with a snap. Lost the ability to fight. Ding! Chimchar gained experience. Level +1. Reached LV14. The electronic prompt sounded in his mind, and Chu Chen was satisfied. Looking at the distance again, the pairs of Dustix also noticed the situation here. Chimchar, let's go. Before they reacted, Chu Chen laughed and turned around. Running after the fun, so exciting. While running, Chu Chen turned his head to look at Chimchar, who was also running beside him. A faint light has begun to emerge on its body. I have gained this last crucial experience. Chimchar is finally going to evolve. Chapter 8. Unlike most Royal 3s who have LV16 evolution, Chimchar's evolution level is LV14. The light on Chimchar's body gradually becomes stronger, making its figure a little blurry. But even so, you can see that its body shape is changing. The trunk and limbs become slender, and the tail gradually grows. When the blue evolution light turns into a sky full of light spots and disappears into the air, Chimchar has disappeared, replaced by the more powerful Monferno. Name: Monferno. Attribute: Fire and Fighting. Feature: Iron Fist. Level: Level 14, Primary. Potential: Elite. Carry: None. The attribute has changed from a single attribute of fire to a dual attribute of fire and fighting. Through the system prompt just now, Chu Chen knew that after Monferno completed evolution, he also directly comprehended the new skill Mach Punch. The power of Mach Punch is not strong, but like quick attack and extreme speed, it is an excellent preemptive skill. Hello, Monferno. Looking at his first Pokemon, Chu Chen's eyebrows were full of joy that he couldn't hide. Pop! With a long tail swinging, Monferno also waved his fists at Chu Chen twice. Doc! At this time, a Dustix flying in the front had already come behind him. With colorful wings flapping, this Dustix wanted to cast skills to attack. Pop! Without Chu Chen speaking, Monferno took action and turned around to use Fire Punch. Ding! Monferno gained experience. One punch to a kid. More Dustix followed in the back. For Monferno now, this rhythm of Calabash brothers saving their grandfather could not pose a threat to it at all. But these waves after waves are really disturbing. After exchanging a look with Monferno, Chu Chen thought it would be better to just counterplan. However, he looked back and felt a chill on his back. They had been running in the front and the airflow was flowing to the back, so they didn't feel it, but in the area where this group of Dustix flew over, even the air was purple. That was all poison powder. Before Monferno fought Dustix close combat, he didn't consider the phosphorus powder characteristics of Dustix. Because when Monferno used Fire Punch, the flame wrapped in his fist could turn all the burn up a strange powder to avoid negative effects. But this, in a real close combat, isn't it almost like being soaked in poison powder? Who can withstand this? Pop! After hammering away another Dustix, Monferno's mouth was brewing with sparks, and he directly spit out ember rain to the back. Out of instinctive fear of fire, the Dustix group paused for a moment. But due to the limitations of the skills themselves, even if Monferno is much stronger than Chimchar, the ember used is not enough to threaten all Dustix at the same time. So, the deterrence only lasted for a few seconds. Are you determined to fight us? Chu Chen was angry and amused. He decided that even if it took some time, he would knock them down one by one. Of course, it would be better if it could be solved in one go in a time-saving and labor-saving way. In the scene in front of him, a powerful skill that can clear the field is needed. Wait for a silver treasure chest. Chu Chen focused his attention on every Dustix that fought with Monferno. Finally, a silver-white light flashed on another Dustix that was hammered away. Without waiting for the system prompt to sound, Chu Chen said, "System, turn it on directly." Ding! You got Flamethrower Skill Learning Machine X1. Ding! You got Alliance Coin X3000. Flamethrower. It came perfectly. Chu Chen had a vague understanding. It seems that the treasure chests exploded by the system are more likely to open suitable props. However, now is not the time to think about this. Monferno. With a flip of his wrist, Chu Chen took out the skill learning machine from the system backpack and threw it at Monferno. Use Flamethrower. Pop! Monferno splash, catching the skill learning machine. The skill learning machine instantly turned into a blazing flame, gathering in Monferno's mouth. The next second, a thick column of flame was spewed out by Monferno, cutting through the air and blasting straight into the Dustix group. Ding! You got Bronze Treasure Box X1. Ding! You got Silver Treasure Box X1. Ding! You got Saffron Treasure Box X1. Chapter 9. There is nothing that a flamethrower can't solve. If it doesn't work, then use 2 shots. For a while, the lights of treasure boxes of various levels in the woods flickered. In Chu Chen's mind, the system prompt sound continued. When all the Dustix lost their combat ability, Monferno's level directly reached LV18 in one breath. In addition to the bronze treasure boxes everywhere, Chu Chen also exploded a silver treasure box and a saffron treasure box. After opening all the bronze treasure boxes with one click, he turned his attention to the two high-level treasure boxes. System, open them together. Chu Chen said. Ding. You got Rare Candy X2. Ding. You got Swords Dance Skill Learning Machine X1. Ding. You got Alliance Coin X 13,000. This time, the saffron treasure box did not open the silver crown, but 2 rare candy. Including the first one, Chu Chen has a total of 3 on hand. This means that when necessary, Chu Chen can instantly increase Monferno's level by LV3. And the amplification skill Swords Dance that can enhance attack power can increase the upper limit of the Pokémon's actual combat ability. Chu Chen threw it to Monferno casually. Counting the flamethrower, this group of dustics who were eager to give themselves away still brought him a lot of benefits. Should I go directly to the next destination now, or? On the way out of the woods, Chu Chen was also thinking about this question. Let's go back and take a look at it one last time. Having been in the Pokémon world for a few years, Chu Chen was not always alone. He also had friends. However, his friend was not a human, but a Pokémon. In the initial plan, Chu Chen planned to persuade it to become his first Pokémon and accompany him on the journey. However, just a few days before the departure date, it suddenly disappeared. Chu Chen tried to find it, but was disappointed again and again. He didn't know why it left suddenly. But at the moment when he was about to leave here for a long time, Chu Chen wanted to go back and take a last look. There was no fighting on the way back, so the time spent was greatly shortened. Stopped at the door of the house, took out the key, but Chu Chen did not open the door immediately. He was afraid that this time he would experience disappointment again like when he was looking for it before. Pop! Monferno at Chu Chen's feet suddenly cried softly and entered a state of alert for battle. Just as Chu Chen was about to ask, he felt a cold feeling approaching. However, Chu Chen was not surprised but happy. Pushing the door open, he walked into the house. The layout of the house was no different from when he left, and there was no sign of anyone touching it. Looking around, there was no sign of Pokémon. But Chu Chen's mouth corners were smiling little by little. Then, he suddenly turned around and made a face at the air behind him. Hee 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 hee. A burst of laughter sounded, and the air in front of Chu Chen twisted, revealing a cloud of blue-purple smoke. This is a Ghastly. It was it that accompanied Chu Chen through the past few years. To be honest, Ghastly's appearance is definitely ferocious and terrifying, the kind that can stop a baby from crying. The voice is absolutely restricted. At least, when Chu Chen first found it in this room, he was scared. But after getting along for a long time, he knew that it was a pure child. The way of greeting just now was just a daily routine for Chu Chen in it. Monferno, this is Ghastly. Stopped Monferno who wanted to take action, Chu Chen introduced them to each other. Hee 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 hee. Ghastly made a face to Monferno, and before Monferno did anything, it laughed to itself again. That's not right. Ghastly's face, no need to make, it should be a face. Ghastly, where have you been these days? After slowly calming down, Chu Chen finally asked the question he cared about most. After traveling to the Pokémon world, he basically regarded Ghastly as his own family member. During the days when it disappeared, he was also confused. Hee 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 hee. After hearing Chu Chen's words, Ghastly seemed to remember something. It opened its big mouth, rolled its tongue, and spit out a red and white Pokeball. Is this for me? At Ghastly's signal, Chu Chen took the Pokeball with a little hesitation and a little sudden realization. This is an empty Pokeball. Hee 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 hee. Ghastly nodded gently, but his ferocious face was full of intimate smiles. It gently touched the button on the red and white Pokeball, and the Pokeball opened, emitting a red light and taking it in. Holding the shaking Pokeball, Chu Chen pursed his lips. He understood everything. Chapter 10. Most Pokémon have intelligence that is not inferior to that of humans. Some of them are even smarter than humans. Ghastly is one of them. Travel, departure date. It knows everything because it lives with Chu Chen day and night. Leaving without saying goodbye, maybe just want to give Chu Chen a surprise. If Chu Chen didn't come back this time, it would really be missed. It is conceivable how sad Ghastly would be facing an empty house in that situation. As for the guy whose Pokeball was stolen by Ghastly, he was naturally ignored by Chu Chen. The red and white Pokeball in Chu Chen's hand was still shaking gently, and the red light on the button was flashing. But in the case of the Pokemon's own willingness, this is actually just a process. When the Pokeball stabilized, Ghastly ran out of it immediately. He 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 he. Floating in the air, Ghastly shook his head, almost writing praise me on his face. It still looks familiar. He shook his head helplessly and smiled, and raised his hand to rub its head. Ghastly also cooperated and behaved very well. Well, its body is closer to gas. So, this is the legendary cloud interaction system, USI of exploration. After the cloud interaction, Chu Chen also began to care about Ghastly's specific situation. He didn't have too high expectations for it. In the future, when he captures Pokemon, he may consider various factors, but for Ghastly, who has been with him for several years, even if its potential is only as poor as that of a juvenile, he will pile up resources to pile it up. With the God-level treasure chest system in hand, he has the confidence to say this. But when he saw Ghastly's panel, Chu Chen almost dropped his jaw. Flash shiny product quality. Name, Shiny Ghastly. Attribute, Ghost and Poison. Feature, Float. Level, Level 10, Primary. Potential, Champion. Carry, None. Shiny quality. Champion potential. In the game that Chu Chen played before crossing over, shiny was just the difference in the color of individual Pokemon. But after crossing over, when studying in school, Chu Chen learned something different. In this real Pokemon world, shiny or different colors represent potential. Pokemon with high potential are not necessarily shiny, but shiny must have high potential. Just like the shiny Ghastly that has been with Chu Chen for several years. At the beginning, the potential value is directly one level higher than Monferno, whose potential value Chu Chen has broken through twice. I really never thought about this problem before. Chu Chen felt a little embarrassed. Although he had some knowledge of this aspect before crossing over, there was still a gap between the real world and the two-dimensional world. Especially, he had only seen this Ghastly in the real world, and there was no specific reference. In fact, even if there was a reference, it would not be very useful. Body color difference itself is a kind of individual difference of Pokemon. In the real world, the color difference between shiny Ghastly and ordinary Ghastly is not as big as in the two-dimensional world. However, even if there is no system, he should be able to react when Ghastly evolution becomes Ghastly tongue. The tongue of shiny Ghastly tongue is blue, which is completely different from the red tongue of ordinary Ghastly tongue. Chu Chen did not dwell on this issue for too long. Anyway, as a trainer, he will not suffer any loss. But, speaking of this, Chu Chen looked strange, as if he had thought of something. Even without the system, I can still do well. Ghastly with champion potential. No matter how badly he does, it should not be difficult to get a leader, right? Of course, these are all boring assumptions. Ghastly, Monferno, let's work hard to become stronger together. Looking at the two Pokemon in front of him, Chu Chen chuckled and said. Neither of them can be missing. After getting rid of the ties in his heart, Chu Chen no longer delayed. He started his journey directly according to the planned route. According to his guess, the explosion rate of treasure chests of various levels is related to the level and identity of the opponent. The wild Pokemon around here can no longer satisfy him now. His first stop is the Little Root Town Research Institute in the same town. As soon as he came to this world, he collected a lot of information, but still needed to confirm some things there. The champion, elite, and gym trainers of each region alliance are still those he is familiar with. So, what about the protagonists? The starting age of this world is no longer 10 years old but 15 years old. You've reached the end of Part 1. Want to know what happens next? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Join Patreon and continue the story from Part 2. Thank you for listening and supporting the channel.